Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. We're going to start today's DIY with 4 of these Dollar Tree mirrors, and these are the smaller circular mirrors. You could make this project with the larger ones, but at my Dollar Trees I could only find these small ones. So I'm just going to remove the backing and the mirror, and I just push from the bottom. To release it, it's really easy to take the backing out, and then I'm going to take the mirror off the backing. Again, it peels off really easily, and I'm just going to do the same to all 4 mirrors. So once that's done, I'm going to take some of this antique white ceramic coat paint. I picked this up from Target, and I'm going to give all of the frames a coat of paint on the outside, on the top, and also on the inner rim. The only part that I won't be painting will be the back. So I'm going to go ahead and give a priming coat to all of these frames. Now, I would recommend a spray paint, but I didn't have a spray paint in this color, and this is the specific color that I wanted. So I just went ahead and painted it, but this part would go a lot quicker if you do have a spray paint. So that's what I would recommend. So I set those aside and let them dry, and here I'm showing you what it looked like after a second coat of paint. And then this is my 3rd coat of paint, and I decided to add a bit of texture, so I'm just using a dabbing motion with the sponge brush to help give some texture to these circular frames. And then I set that aside and let it dry completely. So I'm going to take the back of one of the mirrors, and this is the chicken wire that I use, this decorative chicken wire. I did get this off of Amazon. I will try to link it for you in the description box below. And if you saw my DIY with my shelf, my Dollar Tree shelf, this is the same chicken wire that I used. In fact, these are scraps from that project, and I'm going to use these scraps in this project. So I'm just going to put the backing on top of the chicken wire, and you can use anything, but I just happen to have these Sharpie paint markers next to me, so that's what I used. And then using just a regular pair of scissors, I'm going to cut this out, cut out the circular shape. Guys, I do have to tell you, if you don't already know, that cutting on this with your scissors actually sharpens your scissors. So if you have a pair that are kind of dull, go ahead and use those on this project, and it's going to help sharpen them. You could also cut your scissors on foil, aluminum foil, and that will help as well. So this is our circular shape, and I'm going to do it one more time with using the scrap, and then I'll have to open up the new package of the chicken wire to finish the last 2. So essentially this is what we want to do, is to have the chicken wire like that behind the frame. So I'm just going to flip the frame over, and I'm going to bend the ends of the chicken wire right into that little crevice that goes around the frame. So the ends of this can be a little sharp. You may want to wear gloves. So that's what we're looking for right there. So I finished all of them. This is the last one. And I did go around the other three and I hot glued the ends of the chicken wire down in the frame. And so that's what I'm doing with this last one. So I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. And while it does, I'm going to take the same back of the mirror that I used before. And I'm going to take one of the mirrors and I just want to measure out, trace out the mirror, and I make sure it's right in the center and just trace it with a marker, a pen, a pencil, whatever you have handy. And then go ahead and cut that out. I just pierced the inside of the backing with the scissors and then cut from the inside all the way around the circle. And then turn it over. And we're going to glue it down on the back just like that. And it just helps to add a finishing touch. This is the back of the frame, so it's completely optional. You don't have to do this, but instead of just throwing the backing out, I decided to go ahead and use it for this purpose. It just helps give it a more finished look. So I'm just going to go around the circle with hot glue and just hot glue it down. Now, while I was cutting these out, the little hangers that came on the back weren't quite high enough to make it onto this part of the backing once it was cut out. And I do want to use those to hang up this project. So I will take those off in just a second. Right now, I'm just going to use good old hot glue to glue these together because I only want a temporary hold in case I change my mind and I want to use these frames for something else. It will come apart more easily. If you want a more permanent hold, of course, you could use a stronger glue, or you could just keep them separate and hang them each separately. I found these burlap letters at Walmart a couple of years ago, and they do have an adhesive backing. I'm not quite sure if it was Walmart where I got it from, so I'm just showing you the information in case you want to look it up. So I have the letters to spell out home. And if you wanted to do this straight across instead of in this formation, of course you can. You can do it whatever way you want to do it. You can do it all vertically, all horizontally. It's up to you. But I decided I don't want to use the O. I want to use one of these little pendants that came on these frames from the Dollar Tree. So there's the tree that says family. And there's a little house that says home. Or the last one that I picked up was the mason jar that said bless. And honestly, I was really leaning towards the mason jar. I thought right up until the end that was going to be the one that I used. So to be sure, I just pull the charms off of the frames to set them there. And honestly, I do like the way that the mason jar looks. But just to be sure, I want to pull off the other charms and see how they look. To use the home one in the home, I thought was a little too much. So I decided not to use the little house that says home. So it's basically going to be between the mason jar and the family tree. And once I put the family tree there, to me, that was the winning look. So I went with the family tree. Like I said, these letters do have an adhesive back, but I don't trust that to stick to the chicken wire. If I was using like paper or poster board or foam board, I would peel the adhesive back. So I just use hot glue on the back of all the letters to stick them to the chicken wire. Drop a comment below to let me know which of the charms you would have chosen. Would you have chosen the family tree, the blessed mason jar, or the little house that said home? Okay, so now that that's done, this is what we have so far. You could leave it just like this, but I'm going to take some burnt umber from Ceram Coat, and I'm going to add a little bit of aging, a little bit of wear around the frames. Also, make sure you get the sides of the frames as well. And then I decided that the letters looked a little too new. So I decided to add a little bit of aging and wear to the letters as well, just using the same burnt umber paint. If you wanted to, you could just take some black paint and paint the letters black. That would look pretty good as well. I thought about doing that, decided against it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and I'm going to take the little hangers off, and I'm just tearing them right off. And I'm going to take 2 of them and put them on the 2 top frames. And I'm just going to use some hot glue to keep those in place. You do want to be sure that they're centered and that they are right at the top and even with one another, so that when you hang them, it will hang evenly. So as an extra measure to help keep these together, I'm going to take a regular craft stick, one of the small craft sticks, and some hot glue. And I'm going to use some hot glue to help keep these frames together. So I'm going to turn it back over. And I decided I wanted to see what it looked like if I lined the inside of the frames with nautical rope. And I really, really liked it. I think it just adds a little extra something to it. So I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to line them, the inside of all of them, with the rope. These are the peel and stick tiles that Dollar Tree is carrying. And I just want to cut out the center part of the tile. I know a lot of you are not able to find these tiles yet. I did have to drive way out from where I live to find these, so you might have to do the same. If you go to your local Dollar Tree, they may be able to call another store to ask if they're carrying them, just so you're not driving all over for nothing. They can call other stores to see if they're carrying these tiles. I'm going to use some burnt umber very sparingly, just to add a bit of color and age to the center of the tile here. And then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry completely. I'm going to take this new penny metallic paint, and I did pick this up from Target in the craft section, and I just want to add a little bit to the tile initially because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to use it on the tile or on the frames. So I'm just seeing how it looks, And I decided to add some all the way around the project, to the frames, to the chicken wire, a bit on the letters, and also on the little pendant that says family around the edges. So I want to see what this tile looks like so far for going in the middle of the project, and I decided it needs a little bit more of the new penny paint. So I'm going to take it out and add a bit more paint. So after it dries, I put it back and I think it looks much better. So I'm just going to take some hot glue and go around the edges of the tile and adhere it to the back of the frame. And I did use a little bit of hot glue to help keep the family pendant down. It kept swinging from side to side. And then I took a little, whatever was left on my brush of the new penny paint, and I just went around the word family to help add a little patina to that as well. And this is what it looks like, guys. What do you think? A really cute and unique home sign. Very farmhouse, very rustic. I think that new penny paint adds just the right amount of aging to that galvanized metal sign. I really like the added touch of the tile in the middle of the project. And I also love the new penny paint on the chicken wire. If you can't find the tiles or you just don't want to use it, this is what the project looks like without it. And honestly, I like it just as much as with the tile. You can add something else in the middle, a family picture, or just something else, or nothing. You could just keep it the way it is without anything in the middle. So that's our project for today, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. I appreciate you all so much. I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Until then, everyone, have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.